What makes people listen to you? And this is out of a training I do called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Is great for client communication. This is great for folks in the medical field with bedside manner. And it's great for speakers or those that are trying to share information about their business. I was actually at a networking event yesterday, and it's always fascinating to see who can hit home with their elevator pitch. And it's the people that embody these 5 tips that I'm about to give you. So I'll share them in a minute. But I love a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He says this. He says, all great speakers were bad speakers first. And I know that's true in my life and true in many of the lives. And it's funny because speaking is one of those things where you're bad for a really long time, and then it just feels like snap. It just happens overnight and you get good. But it's like 5, 6, 7 years of being bad or just below average, and then you kind of hit this stride and you figure out your style and you own it and you grab hold of it. But anyways, I want to give you these five tips on what makes you interesting when you're speaking, or what makes people listen when you're speaking. Number 1 is relationships. Who you know is always interesting. So maybe in a conversation, you might, once you figure out that you went to a mutual school or your spouse went to a school, the best connectors that I have run into, they always try to connect a person, a spouse that went to that same school. Oh, did you know so-and-so? Or in some way connect a relationship. Or if you're speaking from the platform, you might want to very casually name drop. It just makes it interesting if you have a connection or a relationship with an interesting person. So number 1, relationships. It makes people want to listen to you. Number 2, sacrifice. How have you lived? How have you lived? When people ask about you, or you get an opportunity to share sacrifices that you made, it's always interesting when you say things like, for me and my family, I can say, yeah, we picked up and we moved across country, sold everything and moved across country to pursue our dream. That's interesting. People go, really, what was your dream? Really, didn't that scare you? Wow. And then they start thinking, would I be able to do that? It makes it interesting. Number 3, insight. So relationships, sacrifice, insight. What you know. So people might ask me in a conversation, they might say, so what have you found that you didn't expect about coaching? What have you found out about people that you didn't expect? And I might say something like, well, I found that people 10 times out of 10, what they argue for, they get. And they might say, what do you mean what they argue for? What people argue for, they get. And if I'm in a coaching conversation with them and I'm trying to help broaden their mind on what it is they can do or what options they have in front of them, they say, nope, I don't have any options. There's nothing I can do. And they kind of want to have a pity party for themselves. There comes a point where you just have to say, okay, I guess you're right. And if people are willing to argue for it, then that's what they'll get in life. And if you're willing to argue for less, then if you're willing to argue that you'll never be able to achieve your dream, then you're absolutely right. So that might be an insight that I could share with someone that would kind of go, and make them think about their own situation and station and condition in life, and it makes it interesting. Hey, I'm trying to help you be interesting today when you're doing your elevator pitch, or when you're talking to your team, or when you have that speech, or when you're in conversation at a networking event and you're just trying to build rapport and connect with the people around you. And I'm giving you some tips here. Number 4 and 5. Number 4 is success. What have you done? People always want to know, what have you done? What have you done? You might say things like, for me, I've had the opportunity to train leaders at the highest level of law enforcement in Tarrant County. Really? How did that happen? Oh, well, I spoke for the sheriff's department. Oh, okay. How'd you? And that's interesting. It makes people go, and ask further questions. So talk about your successes. Number 5, your ability. People want to know what you can do. Your ability. And for me, I might say I have the ability to facilitate discussion in a way that it's almost like I give people a truth serum. And it's been like this for a long time. I can remember when I was doing plumbing and being in a scissor lift way up in the air, 30 feet in the air. And I'm talking to a fellow apprentice, and he just starts telling me, I'm like 19, 20 years old. And he was somewhere around 30, closer to 30. He already has a family and everything. And this guy just starts telling me about his upbringing and his dad and kind of some super vulnerable stuff. And if you've ever been in construction, you just don't talk about that stuff. But he was doing that, and it's been the same all the way through. People that I know for a long time, or people that I just meet, I hear them say all the time, I don't know why I'm telling you this, and they just go on to tell me what they're going to tell me. And that's just an ability I have. It's a gift. I truly believe it is a gift that I have, and people do that. And that's something that happens. Now that's interesting. I don't know anybody else that has that, but it's very interesting. And that is another way that I can use the skills that I have to be interesting and make people or encourage people to listen to me. You have skills that you have abilities, you have successes, you have sacrifices that you've made, you have insights to share, and you have relationships that you can leverage. I want to encourage you, go out and be more interesting. Help people listen to you by using these 5 steps. Put them into practice, and give me some feedback. Tell me in the comments below. Use it today in a conversation, and give me some feedback. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to hear about it.
If you found value from this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. To receive the free influence assessment, simply click on the link below that says Influence Assessment. If you have any questions or comments about influence, please comment below, and I will look forward to connecting with you. Always remember, increase your influence, realize your dream.